Hey guys, so today's video is going to be a story time video. I really got inspired a couple days ago by watching a lot of story time vids, and I thought, I've gone through some crazy things in my life, so why not share them with you? So today's story time video is going to be about the time I almost died, which honestly, in hindsight, I feel like I've almost died a couple times, but this is the most closest to death experience I've had in my entire life, and it's funny, looking back now, it's funny, and you would have thought that I would have learned a lot about life, or you would think that I would feel so much more grateful for life at times, but I mean, I do, but I'm just saying, it's people think that when you almost have a life or death experience, when you have a life or death experience, that all of a sudden life is just so much more meaningful, which really no, you kind of just go back to, you think about it for a while, but then you just kind of go back. But anyways, let's just go to it. So I was young around this time. I was maybe 5. No, I wasn't 5. What am I saying? I was probably in the 5th grade, so 11, 12, that around that age. And my elementary school had a program going on where they basically let you go to a summer camp in the neighborhood. I think it was Camp Haynes or something. I don't know. And they were doing a CSI thing. So they were you're a pretty smart child. We think you should go. And we'll pay for you to go. And I'm thinking to myself, that's great, because I really do want to go. And it was a Christian camp, so I was oh, I'll go. So I'm already petrified, because I'm going without my parents, and this is the first time I've ever been away from my parents. And keep in mind, even to this day, I've never been away from my mom for longer than maybe a week. Maybe a week. So I'm pretty much at home all the time. I'm pretty used to staying at home. So I go to the camp or whatever. It's only supposed to be for a week, and I'm there, whatever. I'm there with a friend. I came in already knowing somebody else who had went, so that was great. Me and him are very good friends, so we kind of just slept on the same, slept near each other. So up until this point in my life, I've never had any training in swimming. I've never really come near water too much in my life at that point. I went to Wet and Wild as I was younger, but never had I ever actually been on my own, unsupervised, and never had I ever learned how to swim through all of that. I just, because when I went to Wet and Wild, you just you can literally not swim. You can just get in the water. You don't have to actually you don't have to actually swim. So I never swam. I never swam at all. So then, I'm at camp, and it's time for the swim test, this is the test to decide whether you can swim or you can't swim. And back then, my ego was through the roof. I thought that I was so adept at everything that I could do everything, and that was a costly misstep. We get to the swim test, and I'm thinking to myself, I got this in the bag. Of course, I'm so dumb that I don't even realize that swimming involves using your legs. You can't just walk through the water. That's treading water. That means you're just walking through. I'm thinking at that point in my life, I'm thinking that is swimming, people. I'm thinking that I'm just gonna walk from one side of the pool to the other side of the pool, and I'm going to get my swim band, which means I can swim the rest of the whole thing. They get all of the boys and they line us up, and they're swim from one end to the other end, and then you will get the green band, which means that you can swim, or you're gonna get a red band, which means you cannot swim. And that's how they're gonna know whether you can or can't swim. Some kids sat out, and I was wondering why they sat out of it. I was okay, I guess they just don't feel like swimming in the pool today. Yet again, keep in mind, I'm in 5th grade, so I'm not really using my brain, and I'm not really putting 2 and 2 together. So everyone starts swimming. I'm treading water, the cute bitch that I am. I'm oh, this is fine. This is no issues, no nothing. The water's getting a little high. It's getting a little high. I'm just going and going and going and going and going. No issues, no nothing. Then I start feeling the water getting a little close to my height, because I was a little bit shorter. So I'm oh, okay, not really too fearful, but somewhat fearful. Next thing you know. And I mean, there's 2 sides to every story, but all I remember was my friend grabbed my leg and he pulled me underneath because he was having trouble. Because I remember looking over and I saw him taking water in his mouth, and that's not a good sign. When you're taking water in the mouth, as a swimmer, you're not drinking the pool. Next thing I know, I am underneath water, people. I am submerged. It's a fatal bath, and I'm just oh my god, I'm dying. It didn't really dawn on me that I was dying until after the whole incident, but in the moment, I was just like, what is going on? I am underneath the water and I'm like, of course, kicking and screaming as only a child could do, because when you're 11 and you're 12, you don't know survival skills that well. All you know is kick, scream, cry, run, and that's about the extent of your knowledge. So it wasn't dawning on me that maybe I should just try to like swim in the opposite direction, like just swim back where I knew I could stand up in the water. All I knew was like, I can't get back to the top of this water. Like, I can't get over top of the water again. And I had not seen movies of swimming. Like, I still can't swim to this day, but I've at least watched enough movies to at least picture how I would at least attempt to come back to the surface, if you get what I'm saying. But like, back then, it hadn't dawned on me. So I'm struggling, my friend's struggling. I put both of my feet on his shoulders. I put both my little 2 feet, y'all, my 2 feet, because he was underneath me, I think. I don't know how this all came into play, but I put both my 2 little feet on his shoulders, and I leaped up out the water. Like, I leaped up out the water, and I was like, help. I screamed help so loud. And then I fell back in the water and continued drowning. Like, oh my God. I continued to drown. It's like it was like a pause between the drowning, and I went straight back to like drowning. I fell right back in that water and I continued drowning again. And I remember as I was standing up and I screamed help, all I heard was these lifeguards, these horrible, lazy, like these had to be the same camp counselors that was there when fucking Jason drowned, because I'm screaming for help and they can see obviously 2 black kids drowning, and all they could say to us was, swim back. Obviously, if we wanted to swim back, if it had dawned on us to swim back, wouldn't we have swam back by now? We've been almost drowned. We've been drowning for at least 35 seconds at this point. Like, obviously, we're not able to swim and we cannot swim back. You're an adult. You're supposed to know these things. So we're drowning. I've leaped up out of his shoulders at this point. I fell back in the water. I'm drowning again because, of course, I cannot swim. So it didn't dawn on me that maybe I should just, So we're like, they literally just watched us like struggle in this water for the longest period of time. Like it felt like forever. Like, and all you could see is blue. All I saw was like blue. And my friend, like I saw him like at brief moments, but I think I was more so focused on the fact that like I'm in water and my breathing is being obstructed. So anyways, moving along, I'm seeing blue. I'm not seeing anyone else. I'm not seeing the sky anymore. I'm not seeing the pool area anymore. I'm just seeing blue, straight blue. It was a pretty color of blue. I will not lie. I will never forget the shade of blue that was. It was a very beautiful blue color. And I saw the bottom of the pool. And all I remember is I just kept hearing a bunch of yelling going on, but I don't know if you can hear in the water, but I heard yelling going on, I think. All I remember is I'm getting to the stage where I'm starting to feel like I could black out, like full live black out and die. And I remember them just pulling us out the water, and we're like coughing, like we're like water's coming out of us. And what added insult to injury, because of course my pride was injured at this point. But to add insult to injury, they slapped a red band immediately on us. Like, and it was not the same red as like the people that said they couldn't swim. It was like a especially dark red, as in like y'all knew better than to try to get in that water knowing you couldn't swim. And that red band basically meant that for the rest of my time at this camp, I was not to be allowed in water unsupervised. I needed to stay where the water did not reach a certain height, which didn't really affect my time there, if that makes sense. Because like we didn't do a lot of swimming related activities, and most of the swimming related activities I didn't really want to do. Like when they went swimming at the lake, I was like, lakes are dangerous as hell because they not like pools where there's like a certain amount of water in it. Like, no, this is like water. And on top of that, the water looked kind of murky, and I've heard stories about what's underneath those things, and just no, I didn't want to do that anyway. And then like they were like, and then they had like this like little thingy Like, you know, you like, it shoots you off and then you like fall in. I was like, I ain't for all of that. Like, I'm cool with just standing by watching y'all have a good time and I just eat. So my camp experience was pretty much great. Other than that, they had an amazing like little place where you could get like snacks and food. Like that was where I lived. Okay, I lived in that place. Like I had more fun there getting candy and food and drinks than I did anywhere else in the whole place. The church service was great too. I'm not even gonna lie about that. And the routine that they had us on was great. And the mysteries and the clues and the CSI part, like the little scenario theme was great too. I would go back now if they did that again, but I think I would know this time to not try to fucking swim because I can't fucking swim. So what I learned out of all of that camp experience, probably the main thing was like, water is not meant for me. Like water is not meant for me. Like, and I was the first one out of all my siblings to have a drowning experience, and then all of them had drowning experiences afterwards. So I feel like I was the domino effect because now they've all had like almost near-death experiences because of my near-death experience. And me and my friend, I haven't talked to him in years, but we were fine with it, you know. We argued afterwards about who it was that like that caused who caused who to drown. But from my knowledge, and I think I'm right, he pulled my leg under, and not that I wasn't gonna drown anyway, because once it would have dawned on me that you had to actually like get off your feet and like I would have drowned anyway. So he just jump started what was the inevitable, to be honest with you. But anyways, guys, that was the story of how I almost lost my life. My life got almost tragically cut short in the 5th grade, but luckily 13 years later, no wait, is it 13 years later? If I was in the 5th grade. 8 years later, here I am at 18, alive and well. So, anyways, guys, if you have some funny stories about when you almost like died, because it's not really funny, but if you can share some funny experiences where you almost died, you can drop them in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share with your friends, guys. But yeah, so I almost died and lost my life. So yeah, if you don't know how to swim, don't be at pools trying to show off like I was, because you're probably gonna get hurt. But anyways, guys, I'll see you later. Mo's out.